All right, Kylie, I've got the recorder on. If you're ready to get started, I'll pull up the info for you.
You think we should get started or wait a few minutes?
It's up to you. You can give them one more minute if you want to. Everybody's pretty much been on time so far.
I think we should just wait a couple more minutes, see if we can get anybody else in, then we'll get started. If that's okay with you.
Yep. Before we get started, for all of you, just as some experience of what we've learned with the first 3 committees, if there's so few of us, if you want to speak, just go ahead and unmute yourself and you can make your point. This is pretty informal. Everyone can discuss if you're a voting delegate. Haley is a state officer. She's not going to discuss with you. If you want to make comments, you can put in the chat feature. That seems to have worked pretty well. If you have a longer thing you want to say, and especially if you're proposing things that we're going to put on the shared doc, if you put it in the chat, I can just copy it over into the shared document a little bit easier. So feel free to use either function. And we want all of you to make your opinions known. Don't be shy. Make sure you talk. We've got 2 hours to get this done.
All right, Mr. Kate, are you ready to get started?
Yes, ma'am. Ready when you are.
Hey, everyone. We're going to call this committee meeting to order. First off, I think the committee members should introduce themselves. So to start off, hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kylie Trish from I currently serve as the Area 4 Vice President and Chairman of this committee. Joseph, if you guys like to introduce y'all.
Hi guys, I'm Joseph Lacombe from the Elton. I'm currently serving as your Area 3 reporter, and I'm serving as a vice chair of this committee.
Y'all don't be shy. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and introduce yourselves.
Hey guys, I'm Mr. Trish, Ag teacher, Central Flux High School and Area 4 advisor. I'll be sitting in as one of your delegate advisors, and if you have any questions, me and Mr. Kidd will go ahead and try to answer them as best we can for you.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bro. I'm from North Webster FFA chapter, and I am the Area 1 advisor and will also be sitting in as this delegate advisor in this meeting.
Hey guys, my name is Haley Fashon, and I'm currently serving as your Louisiana FFA State Treasurer. It's nice to see you guys this evening, and I hope to get this done for as effectively as we can. Thank you.
Lakin, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Lakin Fletcher. I'm from Denham Springs FFA, and I'm one of the delegates.
And who do we have from Fort Berry?
My
Howard. I'm from the Poohberry FFA, and I'm one of y'all delegates.
And if we just keep going down the line, who do we have from South Lafourche with us?
Hi, my name is Carson Shasa, and I'm from South Lafourche. Yeah.
And who's with us from Bell Chase?
Hi, my name is Alicia Patterson, and I'm from Bell Chase, and I am one of the delegates.
And it looks like we have someone here from Westlake.
Hi there, my name is Connor Hutchison, and I'm from Westlake High School FFA chapter.
And we have a delegate from Crowley.
Hi everybody, I'm Elena Cormier from the Crowley FFA chapter, and I'm one of our delegates.
And we have someone from Franklin.
Hey, I'm Elijah Johnson. I'm from Franklin, and I'm one of the delegates.
And I see we have someone else here from Bell City.
Hi, I'm Aiden McDonald. I'm a delegate from Bell City.
And I see we have another delegate from Bell Chase. You can feel free to sit in and debate, but remember that your chapter was assigned one committee, so let's make sure from Bell Chase that only one of you vote whenever it comes voting time. So who's our other Bell Chase delegate?
Yes, sir. My name is Logan Hotard, and I am a delegate from Bell Chase.
Awesome. Kylie, is that everybody?
I think so. Did anybody not get a chance to introduce themselves that would like to introduce themselves? All right, I'm not seeing anything, and that looks like everybody. On that note, thank you guys for coming out today and doing a great service to Louisiana FFA. To some old and familiar faces, it's nice to see you guys again. And to the new faces, it's great to meet you all, and I hope you guys enjoy your time with us. To start off with our program for the day, I'm going to read you guys the statement provided by the chapter who submitted this issue, which if you can see in front of you guys here, because Mr. Lejeune is screen sharing this. So this is an issue from the Holden FFA chapter entitled, Do Away with Early Registration for Affiliated Chapter Convention Registration and Housing. This is also endorsed by Denham Springs and Live Oak, which means they support the views. So the recommended action to be taken, do away with affiliated chapter, sorry, just moved, I lost the spot. Do away with affiliated chapter convention registration and housing. Make state convention registration and housing open to all FFA chapters that are in good standing and have their dues paid. Why is this proposal Mr. Cade, I don't know what's happening here. Should I go look and pull this up on my own thing?
Sorry, I'm
Never
sorry.
mind,
That's
it's
me.
back.
That's me. My mistake. I'm trying to move stuff around. Go ahead.
Okay. That was going crazy on me. Why is this proposal of importance? Whether a student is a member of an affiliated FFA chapter or a non-affiliated FFA chapter, the student is still a dues-paying Louisiana FFA member in good standing. The student should not be discriminated against for convention registration or on-site housing due to the student's chapter not being affiliated. What effect, if any, will this proposal have on student membership? Denying members of non-affiliated chapters certain opportunities that are offered to affiliated chapters is discrimination. If all Louisiana FFA members are not treated equally by means of opportunities, it will negatively affect student participation and morale. It should not matter if a student belongs to an affiliated chapter or an unaffiliated chapter. The student is still a Louisiana FFA Association member and should be afforded the same opportunities as those whom are affiliated. So what data can you offer to support your recommendation? Their chapter has no statistical data, but we do have this presumption that we are thought of as less important members. Every member of our chapter has paid his or her own dues and take pride in being an FFA member. The thought of being discriminated against based solely on the fact that our chapter is not affiliated raises the question, why should we continue to be members of an organization that does not afford the same opportunities to all of its members? Signed, Chapter President Josie Purvis and Chapter Secretary Callie Green.
So Kylie, this was the questions.
Is there
that,
any discussion on this?
I'm sorry, Kylie.
Okay, this was our.
These were the
so guys,
these were the questions that the area officers asked as part of SLDC that we did research on. You can also find this. I'll drop this in the chat feature for all of you to see. You can go to our website and look at all of the data that was there.
so guys, these are the questions that our committee formulated that we had about this issue, or you guys may have it. So Joseph, would you like to read that, please?
Yes, as you can see, our first question was, do non-affiliate members miss out on anything? Affiliate chapter get 3 days of early access to state convention registration and housing and capital day registration. For state convention, some events are limited in number, such as day of service and number of hotel rooms in Holiday Inn downtown and hotel. Registration for capital days are also limited based on the number of people that can fit into the building hosting the luncheon. In this way, non-affiliated chapter may lose opportunity if the affiliated chapter take all of spots or rooms in those 3 days. Number 2 question was, what are the benefits of being affiliating? From the chapter perspective, affiliation allows all education students to be FFA members. The affiliated high school chapter still pays $5 per member for stat dues, but the national dues can be discounted per member because they pay a flat fee based on their level of membership. Middle school affiliate pay a flat fee of $500 state fee and a flat $300 national fee, regardless the number of members. These chapters also receive early registration, as previously mentioned. The benefit to the state is higher FFA membership. The next question is, what happens if you don't affiliate? There is no penalty for not affiliating, except that non-affiliated chapters do not receive the early registration opportunity as previously mentioned. And our last question was, is housing offsite hard to find? We have never experienced housing storage in our host city. In Alexandria, a hotel offers convention rate in Alexandria and Pineville. In Holiday Inn downtown or Hotel Bentley allow chapters to walk to the convention center since the hotel are connected to the site. Empty parking is available around the convention center for chapters not staying in the 2 connected hotels. And that was our question that we asked as an area officer, and we're turning it back to Kyrie.
With that being said, before we continue on, I have some numbers to give you guys, and then we can open up the floor for discussion. So for anybody who might be interested in knowing this, as of April 2nd, 2020, in Louisiana, there are 44 affiliated chapters, which consist of 5,691 members, or 50.7% of our total association membership. There are 160 non-affiliated chapters consisting of 5,529 members, or 49.3% of total association membership. Our total membership numbers over the past 5 years, once again as of April 2nd, 2020 are 2019-2020 school year, 11,220. 2018-2019 year, 11,090. 2017-2018, 10,354. 2016 through 2017, 9,434. In 2015 to 2016, 9,751. That being said, does anybody have any discussion on this topic?
So I agree with what they're saying. I don't think that affiliated chapters should get opportunities that non-affiliated chapters don't get, because it's not fair. One, it's not fair to the students. It's not their decision whether or not it's an affiliated chapter. It's where they go to school. And if you live where I live, you can't choose where you go to school. You go to school where you live. You can't pick and choose like some school systems may let you do. So it's really not fair to the schools that aren't affiliated to not be able to have the same opportunities as the affiliated schools do.
And Kylie, I can give y'all some more background on how this came about. Affiliation was offered by National FFA several years ago. The National FFA affiliation program, the philosophy is that they believe that all ag ed students should be FFA members as part of the three-circle model. Prior to the affiliation model, it was an individual dues paying system, which is still in place in most states. So national FFA dues are $7 per member. State FFA dues are $5 per member. When affiliation came out, I think now it's been 7 or 8 years ago, it offers chapters the option of paying a flat fee based on the number of members. So for every 25 students in the program, the fee goes up a little bit. And you can look on the National FFA website and see what the fee chart is. Our state had never adopted a state affiliation fee. And so a few years back, the executive board considered whether or not that would be something that we could offer to provide a state affiliation structure. It was decided at the time that financially it's not feasible for our state to give discounts on dues as of yet. Our foundation is not strong enough to pick up the slack of revenue that would be lost by not collecting individual dues. So the executive board decided that in order to incentivize chapters to become national affiliates, which gives us 100% membership in those chapters in the state level, they would offer these incentives for affiliation. So the executive board voted for that, I believe, back in 2017. I'd have to go look. We have the minutes of it somewhere. It was either 2017 or 2018. And it was put into place for the following convention. So those benefits applied to state convention and to Capitol Day, where registrations can be done early. So that's where the state program came from. There is no discount on state dues right now. It's still $5 per member.
Thank you, Mr. Lejeune. Does anybody else have any discussion on this? I see Carson, you have your camera on. Do you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. I think this should not pass because this was called. I've seen that it was like called discrimination, but like I believe that it's not discrimination because any chapter can become an affiliated chapter, even though like it costs a little bit more to be one. That's why there's always fundraisers, and fundraisers you can raise money to pay those dues. And if it was discrimination, it would be bias in choosing which it would just be one group choosing what chapters are affiliated chapters and which ones are not, and that is not what's happening.
So discrimination is the unjust or prejudice treatment against somebody of a different category. So technically this would be discrimination. If you have a big school like me, we have a lot of kids in our agricultural education program. We would be paying over $5,000 just to be an affiliated chapter, when our FFA chapter itself isn't that big. So it's easier for us to be a non-affiliated chapter and have kids who want to be a part of the FFA program, instead of forcing them to pay a due or a shop fee of our class and then owing and having to fundraise over thousands and thousands of dollars that we just can't afford to pay. But we're still not getting the benefits. Even though we have a huge ag ed program, we don't affiliate because it would just be way too expensive and way too costly.
Well, the thing is with that, if you don't have any affiliated chapters, they'll those dues for FFA. The money is paid for having many things like CDEs, state convention. If you and LDs, all these contests and stuff, like a lot of things. And so, like if there's no affiliated chapters, if everyone's just like that, then FFA is being paid. Losing FFA is being paid less, and then therefore it will be harder just to even have a state convention, and there might not even be one.
Clarify for you, remember that we're not taking in more or less money with affiliation, except in the sense if you do have it, because on the state level, we still charge $5 per member regardless.
Oh, okay.
The only benefit monetarily is that if you do have a chapter that does affiliate, then we would bring in more dues because they have to pay $5 for each of those members. If that makes sense. But you could also say that we're probably offsetting that too, because with more members, that's more services we're providing anyway. So it's not it was never designed to be, let's increase income to the state association. We don't see any major monetary benefit to FFA from affiliation.
Okay.
Mr. K.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I also say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's why we don't, like, when the affiliation first was brought up by nationals, it took a little while to get it going, but that's why we kind of started again when they remodeled it, where you can actually fundraise for it or whatever. The money going to nationals, they give us a discount. The state's not having to make up that difference on the discount, correct?
Correct.
See, at one point, I think when it was first brought up, you got a like the chapter got a discount, but I think the state had to end up making up the difference. If I understood it correctly back in the day, that's why it took a long time to get the affiliation going. And now, just with the ability of having affiliation or not having affiliation, you can make the choice. But I do know it affects our numbers greatly because if we don't have the number of members or the membership number needed for our state delegation, when it comes to certain national level programs, we don't get to keep, we don't have enough, we may not have all our state officers on as a voting delegate, or we may not have enough voting delegates or not. So, this is one thing to keep in mind. It's still an option to do this. And there is, like Mr. Cate said, we're not making a ton of money out of it, but you do get a little bit of a discount. And it's not like the state's losing out any money. So that was one of the things that a lot of people were against when it first came about, was that state was actually, looked like we were losing money at one point.
Yeah, remember, we don't keep national dues regardless, whether it's individual national dues or affiliated dues. That all goes to national FFA. We only keep the $5 per member. That stays here.
So we're not really discussing the idea of whether or not we affiliate. We're more discussing we don't want to be treated differently because we don't affiliate. So I know people, you can say, hey, why not just affiliate? But that's not the point. The point is we don't want to be treated differently because we don't.
And I think that's a good distinction too as we go forward. What Lakin just said, that's the purpose of the committee, is not whether or not to keep affiliation, it's the benefits that the state is offering because of affiliation. So let's try to keep our conversation focused in that regard. We're not going to get rid of affiliation. That's always going to be an option. It's just the benefits that the state is offering the chapters for it.
Is there any other discussion on this? I see a few people who maybe want to be interested in discussing.
Lakin, that was well said. Mr. Luzerne, if you don't mind me saying or mind me asking, is there any, and maybe Lakin, you can answer this as well for your chapter. Has anyone not been able to participate in something because of not affiliating? Do you
I know
know?
we've all.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said I know we've always not been able to do the obviously the early registration, things like that, because like I said, my school is massive. I just graduated with almost 500 kids, and a lot of those kids are in the ag ed program, so we haven't been able to. If we do affiliate, it would be thousands of dollars that we wouldn't have been able to afford.
Yeah, I mean, and I know Mr. Doug, because I see convention registration that, like with day of service, those service spots are taken up on the first day as soon as it opens. Especially with affiliated chapters getting first access to it, there's none left by the time registration opens for non-affiliated chapters. And with the hotel block, that also fills up within the first couple of hours also at the Holiday Inn and at the Bentley. So in that way, yes, I mean, the affiliated chapters do get that advantage of getting access to those benefits, if you want to call it that, because they're affiliated. And delegates too, just so you know, full disclosure, Mr. Doug's chapter is affiliated. We also have Miss Page on the call with us at Denham Springs, who's not affiliated. So we do have representation from both sides. If there's questions, we're going to be fair and even on both sides of the issue.
Mr. Lejeune.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Miss Page. We're not debating whether or not a chapter should affiliate, because I think if your chapter wants to affiliate, that's a fine thing for you to do. What we're debating is the fact that you do get early registration for convention, and that hurts us because, as you well know, the blocks there at the convention center fill up really fast. So if you get an early chance to get those, then that is not good for us because we're not affiliated. So we're not debating whether or not you should affiliate, because if your chapter wants to do that, that's a fine thing to do. But we have huge numbers of students in our ag ed program that don't participate. We don't want to pay thousands of dollars to count numbers of people who aren't going to participate. We want to be treated the same way everyone else is treated that can afford to do that. So we're not asking you to do away with affiliation. That's not it at all. We're just asking you to do away with the perks that you get because you are affiliated, because we pay the same dues that y'all pay, and we should be treated the same way that the members are that are in an affiliated chapter. So that's just what I wanted to say. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Page.
Thank you, Ms. Page.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Anybody else have any discussion?
Just before we vote, I really want to urge y'all to vote doing away with this, because I do think it is a form of discrimination. It is a form of leaving people out of a certain privilege that could honestly really benefit them. You know, early housing, things like that. I don't think that just because you paid more, you should, or became affiliated because you got everyone in your ag education people to join, doesn't mean you should be able to get housing, because how many of your kids are actually going to participate if you're affiliated?
Oh, and to answer Mr. Doug's question, no, our students don't not participate in something because we're not affiliated, because the way that our state is done now, where we can pay our dues almost at any time during the year. At any point, if a child wants to join, then they're welcome to pay their dues and join us. So that helps us out where it didn't used to be that way. That makes it easier for us to still be able to participate in everything and not have to pay the money to be affiliated.
Nobody has to miss out, right, Ms. Page?
Right. Everybody gets to participate.
Remember them days when we had to hurry up and try to get names in under the wire?
No, not too much. They're usually pretty good about knowing if they want to do it or not.
Mine used to drive me nuts because we had some that would try to come in right under the wire when we did like contests and things.
Well, ours do that sometimes, but with Miss Eton there, it's pretty easy to get it in really quickly.
Oh,
So
yes, ma'am.
she's certainly good at that sort of thing and helping us out.
Oh, yes, ma'am. She sure is.
For those of you who may be too young to remember or know, there used to be a very definite cutoff on after this date, you could not put more members on your roster. We don't do that anymore. November 1st, you still have to have a roster, but you can always add more to your roster after that point. I think now the absolute deadline is like April 15th because that's when National FFA requires us to turn our numbers in. So in that way too, Ms. Page is correct. We're not turning members away. You can join at any time during the year as long as your teacher puts you on the roster.
Is there any further discussion from delegates?
I think I want to say something.
Go right on ahead.
All right, so I think no matter what, if the chapter is affiliated or not, those kids are all members and should be treated equally with equal opportunities because everyone should be treated equal and the same no matter what. So that's why I think being affiliated or not, every kid should have equal opportunities under the same whole thing.
Any further discussion?
Keep in mind, delegates, this is a committee, so you're going to have to form a report that you're going to give to the main delegate body on Tuesday. Then that report is going to go to the executive board for action in the fall. So whenever we're done, we're not just going to vote yes, do away with benefits. You're going to have to vote on how you want the report to read, and then that'll go on to the main body on Tuesday.
Any further discussion before we move into formulating the report and voting?
Can we move the previous question and vote on doing away with it or not? Is that what we do next, or do we have to make the committee report first?
We need to,
What was that last?
I'm sorry, like in the previous meeting, we need to get our words down on paper. We can vote one line at a time like we did previously, and then we'll vote on the report as a whole.
All right, so we get someone to make a motion, Mr. Cade?
No, at this point, we can just throw ideas out onto the page. It doesn't have to be formal with motions. We'll make one formal motion at the end once we're all satisfied with the way it's written.
Okay, sounds good.
So, Lakin, do you have an idea of how you want to start wording this?
I do. So affiliated and non-affiliated chapters receive the same benefits. Whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits, or they are to receive the same benefits.
Are there any other ideas?
We can put all your ideas down on paper, and then we'll start narrowing it down from there.
Are we writing a reasoning or just the like what we want the motion to be?
We're just coming up with ideas right now of how we want to kind of run this vote and how we want to make our motion eventually. Do you have anything else you want to add to this? Like I was thinking, and I don't think this is an issue, but I was thinking like, you know, in the rationale that was put in when Miss Bailey sent it in, and you guys, supported it. It said that all members in good standing or all chapters in good standing. So do we maybe want to put it into wording where it says all chapters in good standing would get the 3-day benefit, or do away with the, do we want to do away with the benefit entirely, or give it to all chapters that are in good standing, meaning your dues are paid, your fees are paid for contests and things like that.
Like, okay, so like affiliated and non-affiliated chapters that are in good standing should receive the same benefits.
Mr. Cade, is that something doable?
Ooh, you asking me to do more work, Mr. Doug, but yes, it is doable.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
We do keep track of that through the year. So more or less, to be in good standing, you have to keep, your dues need to be updated, your chapter fees have to be paid, your annual report has to be submitted. Probably what I would ask you to do is give me a time limit. So like, be in good standing by what date? Because that makes a determination on how to enforce that, if that makes sense, Mr. Doug.
Oh, I got you. And I'm not trying to give y'all more work. I was just thinking out loud because they had opened this year. You guys had opened affiliation like for state convention. You had opened the room block like in January or February, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I know we missed out before, even though we've been affiliated, we've actually missed out on being able to do days of service because all the spots are filled up for what we were trying to do. So, I mean, I get that point.
Ms. Page asked in the chat if this is another issue. It's still related, Ms. Page, because it's still discussing benefits for registrations.
But wouldn't most chapters be in good standing? I mean, would that wouldn't eliminate very many people, would it?
You'd be surprised.
Oh, okay. Okay, bad question then.
That's a good question, because that was kind of what I was getting at.
It would definitely be a lot more than what we have affiliated, but is it all 204 chapters? No, definitely not. I mean, look, I will never blast anybody publicly or share things over the Ag Teacher Listserv, but if I was just to show you the list of chapters that still owe us hundreds and hundreds of dollars, you'd be a little shocked. So,
well, maybe we could just add in the words then, like he said, whether, or we could just say if chapters are in good standing, then they could receive those benefits. But do we really want to, is this about listing benefits, or is this just about saying that the affiliated and non-affiliated it should be treated equal?
No.
So I don't know that we're here to just list benefits that people should get. That's just my thought, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, and the fact is that, I mean, right now we've got, I believe, 41. I don't remember the last data I sent you. I think it's 41 affiliated chapters. I mean, with where we are right now, that's basically maxing out what we can offer at convention, because with hotel capacity, I mean, if we pick up any more affiliates, they're going to be missing out too, because there's just not enough rooms for that number of chapters. So to that point, Ms. Page, Mr. Doug, if we were to say, to all chapters in good standing, I mean, you may as well just not say it at all, because there's not enough to go around even for those.
Yeah.
specifically with convention rooms and with day of service spots.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So why not just leave it affiliated or non-affiliated?
Then could we just leave it this simple?
Yeah, you could.
You think it's got to be clarified more? I mean, I'm not the one that's supposed to be doing this, but I'm just saying that might be branching off into things we don't really want to do or address.
We could leave it this simple. Mr. Cage, should I read our report from last year as an example of like how simple it can be and what this is going to look like?
I mean, the most simple ones are the reports that say that we take no action. So, I mean, you can simple with a report. You know, for one like this, if this is the only topic that we want to address, it can simply say that this committee recommends that the current benefits being offered to affiliated chapters be revoked. That's it. That's all you have to say.
I was about to say, that's all we have to do is just, mention that we want to do that. Good job.
Right.
Seems like that would be the best way to go to me, but you know, instead of trying to specify things that we don't really know if we could actually do or not.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Kate. Like, okay, this year they opened the room block up in January for the state convention. If we just took away the benefit of the 3 days, 3 days head start for affiliated chapters, just took that away and said, okay, guys, January 15th, room blocks are going to open up at 9 a.m. for state convention. Like that. I mean, can we just, like something like that? Because, if we do away with the benefit, then everybody's eligible for it. That would be kind of where we at with it. Just you'd have to call in and, if you get in, you get in. If you don't, you'd have to make another arrangement, correct?
Yeah, that's what we did prior to 2 years ago.
That's what we've always done until they started giving a head start to the affiliated people.
Yeah, and it's still going to fill up the day it opens.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt.
You'll have more people trying to get into it. Delegates, what are your thoughts? This is your committee.
You guys tell us what you think.
Any other discussion from delegates, ideas from delegates?
Some of you guys that are here, do you know if your chapter's affiliated or not? Do you have an opinion on affiliation? Tell us.
Any opinions or ideas from delegates?
Lakin, do you want to reword this?
Mr. Lejeune.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, my internet's cutting out. So should we just write it the way that you had said it, where we just revoke the affiliated chapter's benefits?
I mean, I think if that's the simplest thing y'all want to do, that's the most direct way to say it, yes.
Yes. Then I think we should just write it that way, and then if anyone doesn't have discussion, we can just either proceed to vote, or if they have discussion, they can.
Actually, let me do it this way. I think it would be important for you to keep this line to justify it and then make your recommendation.
Is there any discussion, questions, anything on the two recommendations we have to go forth and make our report out of? Any questions or comments, anything on anything we discussed today? Please feel free to make your statement or ask delegates. Don't be shy. We're here to help you and you're here to help us.
May I go ahead and move the motion?
Is this the wording that you want to keep?
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, Kylie, if nobody else has other ideas, then yeah, you need to take it as an official motion with a second, and we'll vote on it.
Okay. Any other ideas, questions, comments, or concerns?
I move that whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend that the early benefits offered to affiliated chapters be revoked.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second. Second.
Juan, what's your last name?
Lacombe, Lacomb.
I knew that. I forgot.
All right, now we'll carry it out to a vote, and Mr. K could set that up for us, please. So there has been a motion.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kylie.
Okay, so there is a motion and a second that we should make a report that states whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend that the early benefits offered to affiliated chapters be revoked. If Mr. Cade, you could set up the voting for us, please.
What we'll do, Kylie, it's been easier since there's so few of us. If everybody will just use the raise hand feature. So Kylie, you can just call all in favor, all opposed, and they'll just do the raise hand feature and we'll count them that way.
That's under the participants, right?
Correct.
Okay. All in favor of passing the report as whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend that the early benefits are offered to affiliated chapters be revoked. Please click the raise your hand button, which can be found in the participant section, I believe.
Are we voting? I'm confused. I'm sorry. Are we voting for or against it? My internet's just cutting out.
I'll be for. Once again, all those for passing the motion, all those for the motion that whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend the early benefits to affiliated chapters be revoked.
I see 7.
I know my computer keeps jumping.
Yeah, it's 7.
Okay, thank you. So that'll be 7 for. All those against the motion that whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend that the early benefits offered to affiliated chapters be revoked. Please click the raise your hand button.
See 1.
It looks like 1.
Yep.
Has everybody had their chance to make their vote? Did anybody receive any issues?
Looks like everyone voted, Kylie.
Okay, just double checking on that note then. The motion is passed 7-4, 1 against, that whether chapters are affiliated or non-affiliated, they should receive the same benefits. Therefore, we recommend that the early benefits offered to affiliated chapters be revoked. So that would be the report that we'd be using. The motion on the report.
All right, so to fill you in where this goes from here, Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, make sure both of your chapter delegates log on to this link again. We're going to have the statewide delegate meeting. Jaden will be presiding over that one. We're going to consider this report and the other 3 reports from today. You're also going to be voting on state dues for next year. We're recommending to keep the dues the same as they were last year. You're also going to officially approve state degree recipients, and you're going to be considering the program of activities and audit committee reports. So make sure you come back here again at 9 o'clock on Tuesday. Remember that this report now goes to the delegate body. Once that report is introduced to them, they can change it, they can alter it. If they approve it, then it goes on to the executive board in the fall for further action. So that's where it stands as of today. Does anybody have questions? All right, Kylie, that's all I've got.
Thank you guys for coming out today. You did a great service to Louisiana FFA by participating. I want to give a thank you to Mr. Cade, as well as our 3 advisor supporters of Mr. Trish, Ms. Page, and Ms. Bro. Thank you guys for your help and for your input. And I also want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Ms. Haley Fashon for coming help us out today. We were unfortunately a couple members short for our committee, and she volunteered her time to fill in for our missing leadership delegate. She didn't have to do that, and she came in gracefully, did whatever we need to do. So I want to give her a huge shout out and a huge thank you for that. On that note, I guess we're about done here today. So once again, thank you guys for coming out. I hope you enjoyed your time and you have a good, safe, and blessed rest of the day. So see you guys later. And if there's a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, there has been a motion and a second. So this meeting is now adjourned. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks again.
Guys, good job. Take care. Thanks for your help.
Mr. Jared, if you'd stay on for a couple seconds, I'd like to speak with you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Kylie. Thank you, Schwan. Good job.
Guys, y'all have a great day. Thank y'all. See y'all soon.
You too, Mr. Trish.
Do we have to
Thank you
fill
so
out the
much.
report thingy? Or do you have that? Or
I've got it. I'm going to use this and just pretty up. Kylie, you'll have to read it on Tuesday.
okay, so you'll have it all written out for me?
Yeah, I'll put it on a letterhead. We'll just read it off of it on Tuesday.
Awesome. Thank you. And then I'll see you Tuesday then.
All right. See you later.
All right, guys, take care.
Bye, y'all.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye, Miss Bro.
Hello, Mr. Lejeune.
What's up, Haley?
How are you doing?
Doing all right. It was a long day, but I made it.
I'm glad.
Let me turn the photo off. Hold on.